All right, hello and welcome back to the solo challenge colonies run. Colonies just came out, so we are playing it like crazy this week. We got offered Poseidon. We had them in our very last run. Sorry, I want to click this button. So maybe we'll run them. If not, I might re-roll it if it's not a good start for them, just to see. Is there anything here that synergizes with the colonies? Really, no. The answer to that is no. So let's go ahead and forfeit this and run it back. All right, there we go. I re-rolled it. We have Polyphemos. This is a new company. I think it's a bad one, but let's talk about it. At least it's bad for my playstyle. Polyphemos is the largest spaceship in the solar system. It is an autonomous corporation slowly moving their valuable cargo. Several lucrative deals have positioned them to enter the terraforming race as well. So they have 5 income, $50, and 5 titanium. An insane amount of starting capital. But this is the big kicker. Whenever you were to buy a card to your hand, you pay $5 instead of 3. So that's every time you draft, and anytime you get a action to look at a card and choose whether or not to buy it. $5. So if you think about it, if you're buying 2 cards on average a turn, you're spending $4 extra, and that basically washes out this 5 income. If you're buying 3 cards on a draft, you're losing out. But if you're buying less, you're winning. So what you really want with this corporation is ways of getting card draw that isn't the company itself. So we'll see if we can make it work. We weren't blessed enough to start with a colony that gives cards, but we are okay in terms of getting a colony for income, a colony for metal, and a colony for more metal, both of the metal ones. But I don't know, maybe we want the heat colony, we shall see. Again, with Polyphemos, we start with a lot of resources, so I'm less inclined to go supply drop. But look at this, Biolab and Research Network is +3 and +3. That's 6 more cards that, again, for most companies, buying a card at a draft is worth $3. Buying a card blind from the deck is probably worth $2 a card. For us, we're getting 6 cards, and us buying it from the draft is 5. So that's an insane amount of value for us. A science tag and a wild tag is interesting. And then Polyphemos, because the cards are so impactful, we want to buy as few as possible. We want to buy expensive cards. So that's good. We do like our TR card. Extractor Balloons gives us something to do for Venus. And boom, topsoil contract. That's very lovely as well. And then actually we can even round that out with a mining colony. So pretty interesting overall. Nothing to do with steel early. But certainly some titanium. So let's draw some cards here. 6 more cards could give us lots of other options. I like the topsoil and the nitrite. I like the extractor balloon. Air scraping is like a decent way of using titanium to get TR, but it's really slow. We got a cheap colony ship, a giant ice asteroid. Wow. And even airliners for more floaters if ever that is a thing we go for. So the mining colony jumps out as like an option. I don't have enough energy to do trades, but if we look at the colony board, we could get an ocean. There's like a couple ways of thinking about this, which is like, am I trying to get 2 colonies this generation? Probably. But am I able to trade this generation or next? No, not really. Am I just trying to get Deimos down? Could, yeah. Let's start with a mining colony using our titanium. And what's interesting about that is if we put it onto Triton, we'll actually get 3 titanium back. And then that 3 titanium, I feel works really well with Interplanetary Colony Ship, which we can go and put on Ceres. Gives us another little bit of money coming in. I could trade with those. Oh, I'm actually dumb. I could have played these cards first. So I go topsoil contract, and now I need $2 for nitrate producing bacteria. I don't really have a card I want to sell. But this Jovian's a bit expensive for me to consider. So I'll sell that and sabotage. And what I was thinking is now when I play nitrate producing bacteria, because we had topsoil contract, we get $1 for every microbe that gets placed. So I would actually get $3 back. If I did that first, I wouldn't have had to sell any cards. But hey, c'est la vie, we gain a little bit of income. So great, we just played our first gen. I should take a step back and say, what are we trying to do? As always in Terraforming Mars, you're trying to terraform all of Mars. That is the oxygen, the heat, and the oceans. And because we're playing with the Venus expansion, we need to terraform all of Venus as well. We have 12 generations to do it. And we start with our preludes, our corpse, our cards, whatever. We just play our first generation. But I didn't point this out. We started with -2 mega credits for the benefit of having the colonies in play. And with colonies in play, there are a couple different bonuses. I already mentioned if you place a colony on a colony card, so in this case Triton, I got 3 titanium back as a one-time placement bonus. And here, as a colony placement, I got a steel production, which is pretty nice. Whenever we trade with these planets in the future, we will get the trade bonus that will slowly accumulate over time. Once we trade with it, it will go all the way back down to like the lowest available slot. Because we have a colony, that lowest available slot is now in the 2 instead of the 1. So if this little golden box was over here, we would get 6 steel, because that's the bonus. And then we would get 2 more for having a colony here. So that would be a total of 8. Then this would reset down to the 2. And then the following generation would be up to 3. We can make 1 trade per generation because we only have 1 fleet. And the cost to trade, it does say it there. It's a little hard to read because it's smaller, is $9, 3 energy or 3 titanium. Energy being the most efficient way to do it. So hopefully we can find some energy cards. But again, we have a little bit of titanium, a little bit of steel, a little bit of money. So there's a lot to love. We have some really big cards in terms of impact on the board. A card like Business Contacts is interesting for us because it costs us $5 to pick it up. But it does give us a really great selection when it comes to getting cards that are very impactful. So we certainly do want that. We can get a microbe here, which is lovely. And I don't have enough money for anything, like, because we're broke just from picking 1 card. So let's go ahead and place this down and see what we can get. That's fine. We actually have enough money to play Sister Planet support right now. Again, though, we can have 1 trade per generation. So it does make me wonder, do we want to get 2 titanium for $9? Probably not. Do we want to get an energy production for $9? Maybe. Or do we want to get 10 steel, $10 worth of steel, sorry, 5 steel total for $9? That would be profitable, but nothing is as good as just playing the Sister Planet support. Let's go ahead and push up our heat again. If we can get enough money for like a Deimos down or even a giant ice asteroid, that would get us into this heat production. And even though cards cost $5 to buy, I think Molehole Area is a great card for our steel, and import from Venus would also be great for our titanium. Again, I don't have enough money for anything. We get $1 here. Because again, buying 2 cards is just so painful as Polyphemos, and that is my playstyle. But now I can spend $9 to get 6 steel, right? 4 plus 2. Is that enough to get something like Molehole Lake? $9 would put me down to, oh god, 8. 8 plus 6 steel more, so 8 steel, $16, 24. I don't think we have enough for this. I do have enough for import GG from Venus. It's just so lame. The other cards are just so much more impactful. This might be a generation where it's just better to wait. Though, do I still trade to get the steel from the Molehole Lake? Or series, right? Come on. I mean, it's 2 more steel next turn. Do I try and trade for that energy? Honestly, let's, instead of paying $11 for an energy, let's trade for $9 and get an energy production. It's not super great, but we have to get to 3 energy so that we can start trading cheaply. So let's take that while it's available. And here, we can put an ocean down. Let's go there for now. Warp drive, we do like discounts. And then again, invention contest is good. It just hurts so badly to be this low on resources. But now we can get 4 titanium if I go to Triton, or 8 steel if I go to Ceres. That's kind of meaningful enough. And I could even use my titanium to trade. So if I want to go for something like the Mohole Lake here, I actually think it's a pretty good time for it. Especially because it would help me get more microbes faster. So let's use, we don't have high value titanium. So we may as well, instead of paying $9, pay $9 worth of titanium to trade. And that gets us up to 11 steel. That's pretty meaningful, I have to say. We should look for a card first, though. Nothing stands out. We'll take the Jovian Embassy. Kind of a low roll there for us, not gonna lie. And then Mohole Lake gets us the heat income from this track. And 2 plants is enough for a greenery. In fact, we were getting 3 from the card anyway. This microbe gets us up to a break point for this income. This bad lad. And then perhaps we just put this greenery here. It's not the best placement, but if we wait to get 1 ocean here or here, we'll be right adjacent and able to jump right in. I could even get more plants with ecological zone now, but I think what's better is a giant ice asteroid next turn and placing, you know, oceans here and here. That would give us enough plants for the next greenery, or here and here because we have a plant coming in, and then a nice pocket greenery, let alone getting the extra heat. So I think that's fine. Let's do a quick audit. How do we feel we're doing? We have 5 TR over the baseline plus 7 money income. That is a total of 12. 5 more metal is okay. Puts us in that kind of 15 to 20 range that we consider our baseline. But we have this malice. So, you know, that puts us down like 4 income if we're buying 2 cards per turn. So we're kind of below. We have microbes coming in. I'd say we're on the low end of decent income. In terms of terraforming the planet, we haven't played a Venus terraforming card, but we do have extractor balloons ready. We don't have many ocean cards, but we have 2 oceans on a single card and 2 already played. So I think that oceans were already halfway if you consider the free one on the track. And then if ever we did get a bunch of science tags, which, you know, we have 1 and a wild tag, we could get something like Warp Drive and make all these cards that much cheaper. So all that to say is I think that we're doing okay. We're holding $14 going into the next gen. We have to get 63 TR. We have to get 100 points. We have to terraform the whole planet. I think it's possible to do those things. It's just going to take a hot second here. So science tag I want. Now this is interesting because a cheap Venus bump is actually not that cheap for us. Just because it costs $5 to even buy the card. But I know that I have a warp drive to make cards really cheap, really, like space cards. So I'm going to buy it, even though it's quite expensive to add it to my hand. Then we're going to do these clicks, which is lovely. And then we can finally look at the colonies board. And I kind of didn't mention when I was doing the audit that I do have 2 colonies in play, which means that when I trade with this, it's actually going to give me 5 titanium at this point. That's a pretty good trade. And instead of going all the way down to 0, it's going to go down to 1. So it's really going to be good for us to trade with that colony for now. I would love to have a second fleet and just trade even more. But I can only do 1 trade per round. I don't have enough energy, so I'm going to spend money to trade. Confirm. Deimos down, you are also interesting. All of this is interesting. But I think that the oceans make just too much sense because it gives me the heat income, it gives me the placements, I get to put the greenery beside it. All of that works out just super well. And then, do I need even more titanium? I kind of do. So let's grab the science tag and put it up here for a card. Or no, for a titanium. And we really need the energy to make this work. I could play this card, but again, I'd rather wait until I have Warp Drive, which I am 2 science tags away. I don't know if we'll be so lucky, but let's see what happens. All it takes is getting research as a card, and boom, we're there. And if we don't, then we can probably start playing other cards. I want both of these cards, good terraforming cards. As much as I like Heather, it's just too expensive considering the fact that I have to pay $5 to purchase the card. So we're going to live and let die on that. And then here, I really would like to wait to play anything with a space tag. So what are we going to trade with? Is there... I'm not used to the interface yet. Here we can get 6 steel. Here we can get an energy income. I probably want the energy income. And if I could pair that with extractor balloons, I would feel a lot better about this run. So do I have to sell a card to make that work? I guess we're going to have to sell airliners. Which is really too bad because airliners with extractor balloons is a great combo. Because this comes with 3 on it, so it's already ready to go. But I wouldn't be able to play it this round anyway, so airliners is gone. That allows the trade action. I actually don't like getting the plant income from Europa. I really like getting the energy income, so grabbing that before it ticked over to the plant income I think is good for us. And then, yeah, we want more floater synergies in the future. But hey, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards of ours are space tags. And we have a card in here that gives us a $4 discount on all of that. So 4 times 6 is $24 worth of discount if we can get Warp Drive in play. And that's just considering the cards we have right now. So there's a pretty good chance. Let's balance out our oxygen. We definitely want to get that free card for us. Atmos Scoop is a great card for making sure that we can keep trading. You use floaters to get energy, and I could do that right now. It's again expensive, $15 plus $5 to buy the card, but I think it's worthwhile. Everything else is just too expensive for me to grab, I feel. So Atmo collectors. I'm going to put the floaters onto itself, and then I will get energy from it, and that opens up my ability to trade. So 2 titanium plus 1, a money income, or a bunch of steel. It's probably going to be the steel. Trade. Steel. 6 steel plus 2 from our colony is a great trade. Again, I'm waiting for some science tags to play all this stuff. For now, at least I can put these steels to use. And for the sake of continuing to terraform the planet, I probably have to play Atmos Scoop just to keep our tempo high. And that way I can use extractor balloons this gen as well. It's a bit painful to play it so early. When I know I have a discount in hand, so I only have 5 cards to get discounts on. But it's fine, it is what it is. We'll pick up our microbes. Those are giving us $1 for every one. Yeah, and look at that, we actually picked up ice cap melting. That's not bad at all. Cheap ocean to round out the game when we get there. Oxygen can keep moving. Science tag. We're close. All right. So yeah, so science tag at Olympus Conference makes a lot of sense here. It gets us really close to what we want. Conscription's an interesting card. Normally, you basically are paying $8 to get a $16 discount at the cost of a point. So you're saving, $8 on a card that has to be expensive, and you have to have the 2 Earth tags, and you're trading $8 for -1 point. That's pretty good for your tempo, all things considered, but for us, we have to pay 2 extra to grab the card, so it's questionable if it's still worth it to do. It could get us into like a Deimos, though, a little bit earlier, so that's good. And then orbital deflectors, Venus bumps plus income on the heat track, I think is incredible. Again, it's another space tag, so I'd really rather I'd really rather get it from something else, but damn. So this could be the energy I need to keep trading. This could be 4 titanium to do a big play this turn. Both are important to me. But again, if I'm waiting a turn hoping for warp drive, this is probably a good turn to get that last energy. Because this will be out of floaters next turn, so trading will be more difficult. So let's do that, grab the energy, and let's do one last trade over here. So now next turn, this will be set up for 5 titanium, and we'll have the energy to do it. I'm not getting animals, I don't think. No. Get this. Again, I hate playing cards without having the discount play, but we do need to keep up the tempo. So let's conscript into orbital deflectors. That gets us up to the bonus TR from the track, which is nice because this one isn't ready to fire. And then we have enough microbes to get this bonus TR. At least 63 TR is going to be very likely for us. I have $14, which means I could buy a standard project heat bump, but I have enough heat bumps in my hand that I'm feeling like if I can just get that last science tag, we are good to go. You know, we are so good, and I'd be happy to have the money. Meat industry is great. Space event is great. This is science tag, which doesn't do much for us right away, but it does give us a card draw, and I don't need this energy anymore. Because I was able to get up to the amount that I need. So here I can trade, and we'll trade up here for 3 energy and get all of that titanium. Meat industry, you're cheap. And where would I put the ecological zone? I like putting it in the corner. Let's go for a card draw here. Again, playing space tags when I have a big discount in hand hurts. But we could have gotten lucky. We didn't. Oh, actually, sorry. I meant to play this. This is a card draw as well. We still wouldn't have gotten lucky, but it's good to know. Extractor balloons set up for an extra turn. Solar reflectors. Again, a space tag that if I had the discount would be nice. So for now, we put our greenery here. And then with meat industry, we're getting money for our animals as well as our microbes. Because we're getting money on microbes, it's probably worth playing tardigrades, but it's a little awkward because tardigrades 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's exactly 1 point and $4 back if I play it now. So it breaks even. This bad lad needs to just float itself with floaters. Now this could give me $2 per animal, so I think that's worth more than the $1 microbe. Not to mention the half point versus 1/3 of a TR. And I need a terraform, man. I really do. I'm so close on those discounts, but I need to terraform. Let's come up here for 2 cards. A power plant, I mean, fine. Nitrogen from Titan, fine. Yeah, it's just a painful run. How many oceans do we have? 1, 2 left to get. So one that we'll need to find. Oh, I guess we hold our money again. There's just so many benefits, but at this point, the lost tempo is starting to add up. Yikes. Just yikes. All of this is so yikes, man. Could have 5 income from cartel, but it would cost like $5 to buy it. So no thank you. Do I have card draw? No. Are the colonies set up for anything? I mean, some decent steel, some more energy. I don't know how to get the card draw that I need here. So I guess I just play all my space stuff after waiting the whole game and just not hitting. Yikes, man. Yikes. Titanium or heat? I think you just take the heat. Tardigrades, animal, microbe. How many microbes? Is that one going to get there in time? Load again on 11 and fire in 12 is fine. Yeah, this is painful. Deimos down. You may as well go with the big one. Then I really want to get the oxygen up a step, so we go imported nitrogen. That's not going to work out perfectly anymore. I guess I'll have to fire it, like support it with some stuff. I have enough for the heat bump from the greenery now. And then, yeah, I guess we just play you, right? Because you come with heat. What's this card? Is it a science tag? No. Symbiotic fungus, though. We don't mind that. We don't mind that at all. That helps this fire off twice. This is extra energy. Did I not trade? Well, we may as well grab the steel. There's just so much of it. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is just a tragedy of missing one science tag that could have made this run insane. And there you go. Imported stratospheric birds, some asteroids. I mean, all of it comes together at the very last second, but a little too late to really matter. There's only 2 titanium? No, it's 3 because I have the colony bonus. Use. Now, where would I even put the restricted area? I might just keep going for some cards. Now, restricted area is great because it gives us really some cheap card draw. And look at that, another science tag. Wow, and we actually play it first. So it's another card draw. Molecular printing. Oh my god, I didn't know that was in the game. Warp drive. So molecular printing is for every colony and city in play. You get $1 back. Which, I mean, I only have 2 colonies in play and 2 cities, so it's not that big a deal. But in a competitive game, it's amazing. Nothing to do with our steel, which is too bad. So sad. Stratospheric birds is what I want. No, I can't cancel out of using this card, so it is what it is. Asteroid gives us the ocean I was hoping for. Then, do I have another heat bump? Because I'd love to get the ice cap melting. Also, I don't have a floater to give up, apparently. Which I guess needs to come from stratospheric or extractor balloons. Yeah, extractor balloons gives it up. Because this is a lot of... Oh! This one. Extractor balloons. Because that one doesn't have enough to fire off without help anyway. Yeah, Venus Bomb. Symbiotic fungus. At this point, you just put it on tardigrades because the other one can't use it. And then where are we for heat? Looks like we only have 1 heat bump left. So I'll use a standard project here to round that out. Just because I have enough money for it. And honestly, I carried too much money from round to round anyway. 1 more oxygen from the track. I'd love to get a city before this is done. Some science and some space discounts are pretty okay. They're quite expensive. I don't really have the income to justify it, to be honest. Ice cap melting, though, works nicely. I was thinking that our card draw from that science tag is going to work out, but it may or it may not. This should be used for titanium because the heat isn't going to get us to a break point. Then, how many resources are on nitrate? Yeah, this is ready to fire. Molehole Lake gives us a $2 bird. Tardigrades is in a weird spot where it's not going to get enough. Am I trading? That's the big question. And if I'm trading, where am I going? Because the plant income is nothing. So it's really just going to be 2 titanium. Which is a bit lame. Still, I don't see our titanium being used any other way. Then this gives us the card draw I was hoping for. Crowslate, we can trade for 1 fewer resource, so only 2 energy to trade. A little bit late for that to matter. And yeah, and then I guess we just lose, right? Yeah, I guess we just lose now. I don't see how I could... I can't buy a city and still get 63 TR. Is basically where we're at right now. I was thinking about buying greeneries because I have good adjacency here, but I won't get enough plants to get more than that. Am I on a card draw with Olympus? No. This is a painful one. I think you play molecular printing. And then asteroid. Greenery is the most points. And honestly, another greenery. I mean, this is 2 TR, actually. I guess I could just play that. And then I could have bought the city after all. Because I would have had the 63 TR. I was discounting that card because it doesn't give me the floaters, because they have to go on a Jovian card. But I don't have a Jovian card to put it on anyway, so it's fine. And there you go. I mean, is it a full terraform? No. Did we play a hard mode company? Yes. Did we really struggle to find a single science tag for the warp drive? Yeah. Yeah, we really did. Oh my god. Would it have made enough of a difference? Honestly, with the tempo, like we gave up so much tempo waiting for that science tag, we would have had so much more income. We would have played cards so much more faster. I think like 6 steps feels like a far cry from where we needed to be there. But I actually think we could have terraformed it completely, for sure. So it's a bit painful of a conclusion, but we at least got 63 TR. So we have one of our 3 win conditions met. 17 points I don't think is enough considering we have no cities to go with our meager greenery count. Not even close. But we still got the 63 TR or more, 65 in this case. So, you know, things kind of worked out. We ended up getting meat industry, which was nice with all these animals coming in. That was 11 procs, $22 back. I don't know how many microbes I got over the course of the game, but I certainly got like 3 or 4 clicks of this, 6 of that. So I don't know, 15, you know, so we made a profit on both of those cards, which is nice. But yeah, just a bit painful of a run. I think that this is actually an okay Polyphemos run. The problem is that you really need Pluto in the game. You need Pluto in the game because Pluto gives you a colony where you can get cheap cards. And if you build a colony there, you can even get card cycle to get through your cards faster. So the cards you do have are as impactful as possible. And we just didn't have that. So I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.